So we're talking about some new stats. According to the federal government, they are now saying that overdose deaths are now the leading cause of death in people who are 18 to 45-year-old. This is beating suicide, car accidents, and gun deaths. All of this really difficult to talk about. So we are bringing in our licensed therapist, Kevin Peterson, to help us break down exactly how the use of social media plays a role into these overdose deaths. Kevin, are you with us right now? At this time? I see
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay.
I'm right here, Jordan.
Perfect. I see you now. Sorry about all of this. Kevin, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you to help us understand this incredibly difficult topic. I think a lot of people are sitting here hearing me say social media and wondering, wait, how did we get from overdose deaths to now including social media? Can you help us understand how this is even happening?
Absolutely, Jordan. Good morning. Good to see you. And there's two primary things that came out of the most recent report that are the most terrifying parts about this is that people are buying counterfeit pills that are laced with fentanyl and the age group that you're talking about, the 18 to 45 group, and they're doing it over social media, things like Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, and on all the others, and they think they're buying the real thing. They think they're buying prescription drugs because they look just like them, but what they're actually buying is something that has been laced with fentanyl, and that will kill them.
And as you're talking about these drugs that are laced with fentanyl, exactly how much of the drugs are we talking about that could be laced with fentanyl?
The estimates currently are that 90% of the pills that you're buying from a dealer on social media are probably laced with fentanyl, if not pure fentanyl. And what I would actually say when people start talking about 90%, I think what we really have to assume is that everything that you buy over social media is probably laced with fentanyl.
And, again, talking about how people are even buying these drugs on social media, why? Why is this even happening in the first place? Why is this a place that people are targeting their customers?
Well, I think the why on the buyer side is that they can't get it through prescription. I think these are people that are struggling through addiction, and so they probably run out of their prescriptions, so they're going to the street to buy something, and they honestly think they're buying the regular thing, and it turns out that what they're buying is a lethal dose. And then on the dealer side of things is that there's a huge level of anonymity that exists in the social media world, although that is being attacked right now, and there are definitely some things happening along those lines where they're challenging that. But right now, through social media, your probability of getting caught and prosecuted is pretty slim.
Kevin, this is really alarming to hear about. I mean, parents already are struggling right now with social media with their kids in so many other facets of life, much less thinking about potentially them buying drugs or anything like that through them as well. So if there is a parent who is really concerned about this, how do they even begin to suspect that this might be happening? How do they start monitoring this in their kids?
The thing that I always tell the families that I work with is always look for significant changes in their lifestyle and their behavior. If all of a sudden the grades are changing, they're changing their friend groups, they're no longer participating in their extracurricular activities that they enjoy, they quit work, you noticed mood behavior, depression, anxiety, frustration, tears. And you're not being an overreactive parent or an overprotective parent when you start seeing those changes and you want to sit down and talk to them. And the first thing I always tell people is don't be afraid to drug test them, because that's really the most effective way to find out what's going on.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to be the parent, of course, in that relationship. Kevin, I'm not even sure we have this answer as of now, or maybe if it spans a pretty wide range. Is there any specific apps that parents should be on the lookout for? Is this happening more so through any certain means, or is this kind of just widespread at this point?
Honestly, it's widespread. I certainly wouldn't want to single out anybody, but I mean it really is across the board, no matter what. And this is also one of those things where I think you just, as a parent, I mean, you're the one paying for the phone, so let's be honest, it's your phone, and I think you have the right to look at it and monitor it and check it. And I think there's nothing. And again, like you said earlier, let's parent these kids.
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody does find themselves in these situations and they're trying to get help, what would you suggest?
Well, my two favorite websites for this sort of thing is the first one is www.naatp.org. That's the National Association of Addiction Treatment Providers, and they have great services on there for the public. And then the other one is the government has a Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, and that's samhsa.gov, and they have a plethora of information on what to do and where to seek help. And those are honestly the two best.
Awesome. All right, Kevin, thank you so much for helping us break this down this morning. It's a difficult conversation, and we appreciate you walking us through it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, Kevin, thanks so much.